love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that bitch business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. It's pure love for my sweet thing, hold me down. That's why I praise her, hold her up, let her rock the crown. I go get her for a nigga when we move around. She knows that's how I feel it now, we didn't make a sound. She give me nourishment like a beautiful river now. Yo, what's going on YouTube? God Body Shine, Elevation Nation Conversations, episode 5. Let's get it. I had to start out with this song right here. This song is appropriate. So I don't want none of the feminists out there thinking I'm a woman hater or I'm a, what they call it, toxic male masculinity and none of that. So I had to start it out with this record. I did this record over 15 years ago. This record called I Love My Queen. And basically, just a record showing love to women, showing love, sisters and all that. All women ain't bitches and hoes. They are not all thots. They ain't all queens either, though. They're not all goddesses. So we got to balance that shit. So today we're going to talk about that Kirk Franklin movie, Father's Day. But I felt this record was appropriate, called I Love My Queen by Sean Barnes. It's an old record I did. So we're going to let that play out a little bit. Then we're going to get into the topic. The procedures. Come in the house, wipe your feet. That means basically hit the like, share, subscribe button. Let's get it popping. And we'll do it like that. All right? But here go the record right here. It's appropriate for today's topic. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. It's pure love for my sweet thing, hold me down. That's why I praise her, hold her up, let her rock the crown. I go get her for a nigga when we move around. She knows that's how I feel it now, we didn't make a sound. She give me nourishment like a beautiful river now. Just to get her love, I crawl for a whole mile. Mother Earth to my nation, so I give her patience. Put her on the fast lane, so it ain't no waiting. Kingdom, I go without a queen, ain't no home. She love me when I'm right and understand when I'm wrong. She speak that poetry, so I had to write a song. Even when I'm weak, she got my back, so I'm strong. On the sideline, cheering for me, go baby. Cut her like she grits and jelly butter, but so lady. Glow like the sun in my life, never share. Got the baddest thing around, so these haters hate me. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. I love my queen, yes. We're gonna run that first verse back real quick so y'all can get the gist of it. This is a love record. You dig? I love women. So we ain't gonna say I'm talking crazy about sisters or women or anything like that, but that Kirk Franklin movie, I don't know if any of y'all seen it. Y'all need to check it out. It's pretty good. It's a short documentary, but yeah. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start the podcast off with I Love My Queen record. Did this 15 years ago, but it's just to put things in context. I'm not female bashing or anything like that, but we calling it out as we see it. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. It's pure love for my sweet thing, hold me down. That's why it's pure love for my sweet thing, hold me down. You hear it, right? You hear it, I'm showing love. Hold her up, let her rock the crown. I go get her for a nigga when we move around. She knows that's how I feel it now. We didn't make it like a beautiful now, just to get the love I crawl for a whole mile. Mother Earth to my nation, so I give her patience. Put her on the fast lane, so it ain't no waiting. King of my throne without a queen ain't no home. She love me when I'm right and understand when I'm wrong. She speak that poetry, so I had to write a song. Even when I'm weak, she got my back, so I'm strong. On the sideline, cheering for me, go baby. Cut her like she grits and jelly butter, but so lady. Glow like the sun in my life, never shaded. Got the baddest thing around, so these haters hate that. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. I love my queen, yes. I love my queen, yes. Hold me down, I hold her up, doing that nation business. I go get her on my team, going out to get it. Picture, perfection, an angel, a blessing, shining from my soul in the light, keep me stepping, moving for my motivation, conquering, encouraging, plant the seed, shower with the love, she flourishing, beautiful, and let me see the fashion of that one. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. I love my queen, Sean Barnes. It's an old record, 15 years old almost. But what's good, y'all? What's going on? I'm back with you. I was gone for a couple of days, had some things I had to handle, get in order.
Power off.
I used to be a business owner, so when you're a business owner, you have a lot more free time than you do when you're back in the job market, but it's all good. We'll get back to that position. Just had to do some restructuring. Today, I want to talk about that Kirk Franklin documentary. Did y'all see it? It's that Kirk Franklin documentary, Father's Day. And it's basically, it's a self-produced documentary. So it's on YouTube, and it's basically about him trying to find his father. I think Kirk Franklin, like 50-something years old. And there was a man that he knew that he thought was his father. His mom was saying that was his dad, and they really didn't have a good relationship. It was kind of, rocky, for like, I think he said maybe 20 or 30 years, or, you got to go back and look at the documentary and get the exact time frame and all of that. But that his father, well, his supposedly father that his mom was telling him was his father, had passed away. And he had went to the funeral, and there were some family members that were there. So you know how that go. When you go to the funeral, you see family members you ain't never met or you ain't seen in 20, 30 years, and y'all get to talking and, catching up. And there was a family member on his mom's side, and she gave him some information and said, hey, I don't know what you want to do with this or whatever, but this might be your dad. He might not be your dad. So he goes, who I think was your dad. You might want to get in contact with him and see what's going on, or something like. I think she had got in contact with his real father and asked him to do a DNA swab or something like that. And she let him know that she was going to give it to Kirk so they can do the DNA test and find out if that was his biological dad. So shouts out to her. She the only one in the whole family in 50-something years that said, hey, you know what? This shit ain't right. Let me get the real deal and get and put it in his hands and let him take it and see what it is and what he want to do with it and what he don't want to do with it and how that play out. So Kurt did a independent DNA test. I want to do one of those as well, but just to see my family's history and where we come from and all of that. But he did a DNA test where they send the swabs in and they compare the DNA and they do analysis and see are they related or could they potentially be related and things like that. And come to find out, it was his dad. It was his dad when it came back, and you could see in the documentary that when the results come back, Kurt was like, this is my father? This is my father? Wait, are you killing me? This is my father? I don't know if he was playing it up for the camera or whatever. It was kind of funny, but it wasn't funny. And come to find out it was his father. So he set the documentary up where they start kind of, retracing things, and they going through the process of him, telling his mom and his mom's sister about what was going on and excuse me, and all of that. And
I'm watching it and I just think it's funny because I'm just like, they love to say male toxic masculinity and all of that. And I'm thinking in my head, man, this is toxic femininity. Like, one, he didn't even really know his mom. His mom, I think his mom dropped him off with an older family member, and she was doing her thing, whatever. Real talk, being a thought. That's what the fuck it was. She was being a thought. She was out there running around or whatever, and she really couldn't take care of Kurt. I don't know if she had some drug addiction up in there, or she got some issues going on or things like that. So we all got our demons we dealing with. But Kurt was raised by an older woman, family member, and he said he never really saw his mom, maybe once or twice a year. And he called his aunt, his aunt and his mom are like little two peas in the pies, so they sisters, so they real tight. But in the documentary, he called his aunt and he was like, "Hey aunt, I want to meet up with you. I got some information I want to ask you about. I want to see if it's true. See what you say about it." And she was cool. She was with it, and they met up. And just first of all, just the dynamic, the dynamic between him, Kurt Franklin, and his aunt, which is kind of weird to me, man, because his aunt was just real. She seemed aggressive, she seemed just real. What you want? Get out the car, come in here. I ain't doing nothing. You come in the house and talk to me. I'm just like, damn, she fire, man. She aggressive as fuck. But that was his mom's sister. And of who he thought was his father, somebody told him that might not be his dad. They had some DNA swabs of who they thought was really his dad, and they went and got him checked out, and and his aunt really basically didn't say too much, and she contacted her sister. Now her sister is Kurt's real father. He talked to her on the phone first, and you can hear the conversation. And his mom was just basically just typical denial. Just denial, just lying and denying. He tell her, "Hey, mom, I found I forgot what his real father name was, but and I wanted to talk to you, and I wanted to ask you something." And mom on the phone just lying. "Yeah, Kurt, I would never lie to you about nothing. I would always tell you the truth, and I wouldn't want something like this to harm our relationship or what lack thereof relationship, because they really didn't have a relationship." And she was saying that she wouldn't lie to him and this and that. And she said, "That's not your father. I will not lie to you. That is not your father. The man that just died was your father." And then Kurt tell her, "Well, Mom, I did a DNA test. We did a DNA test. And the paperwork came back 99.99991% that is his father." And she didn't want to hear it. So Kurt set it up where he would get a second DNA test. And he did a second DNA test. And this time when he did the results, the mother, the sister, and Kurt were there. They was all in the same room or whatever. And and Kurt did the second DNA test and gave her the results. And first of all, just watching the documentary, man, I'm looking at Kurt and how he kind of conduct and run around and how he handled himself and this and that. And you could tell he didn't have no father in his life, like growing up. He had no father in the household or whatever. And just his whole, like his demeanor and how he carried himself and just a lot of you could tell, you could tell he didn't have a dad in the household. And I really understand and I can see why. And when they say it's important that, you have a man and if you can have a nuclear household with a man and a woman, because you got kids, you got, female and male kids, and they need their mother and fathers together to produce and be in their life. And it makes a difference. And I can see the difference in Kurt. Just just the way he run around and moving, and it just seemed weird to me the way he conducted and carried himself. You know, it was weird to me. But during the meeting, he sat his mom down, and you know they were talking, and he was telling her, you know, he did a second DNA test, and the results came back, and he told her it's the same thing. It came back 99.99991%. That was his mother. And hey, hold on a second. All right, hold on. Yeah, we back. We had to get the lighting straight. Okay, is that better? I had to add a little lighting. Make sure y'all can see this handsome man. You did, but yeah, he basically told her, and I wish I had my setup. You know, I'm getting my setup put together and everything like that, so I can show you clips of things that we're talking about, so you can get a frame of reference of what we're talking about and where we going with it and where we at with it. I wanted to put some clips of the video up from the documentary, but you know, we'll get better as we grow. We'll get subscribers up and you know get things going. But he was in the room with his mom and his aunt, and he basically told her, "No, we did the second DNA test, and it come back, Mom, that is my dad. You know, no doubt about it." And KIRK is sitting there right in her face, asking her the second time, "Mom," I mean, he's telling them, "No, Mom, is this my dad?" And the mama is sitting there holding on to this lie. She's sitting there saying, "Nope, it's not your dad. Nope. I would not lie to you, KIRK. I would never do nothing like that to you." And yada, yada, yada. And the mother's sister is right there with her. The mother's sister is right there with her, and she's supporting her with this bullshit. She's supporting her sister lying about who KIRK daddy is. The mom got so heated and so upset that she just left about. She left. She said, forget it. She didn't want to film no more. She was going to leave, and her sister left with her and just left KIRK there like, damn. And KIRK sitting there thinking like, still lying to me. So as a grown 50-something-year-old man, he can't get no closure about this being his real dad from his mom, because his mom want to go to the grave with this lie. His mom want to go to the grave being right. And this is not about all women or none of that. So we're not going to take it like that. And it's not female bashing and woman bashing or none of that. But this happens a lot, man. A woman or a person or whatever, they would go to the grave with a lie just so they could hold the face up of being right. Just so they could hold the face up of being right. She would rather ruin her son just so she can go to her grave being right. And she wrong as a motherfucker. Wrong is all out. And her sister is supporting her with it. She backing her with it. She backing the bullshit. She co-signing it, all of that. Now, my thing is this. Even back in them days, you know, before they had DNA testing and paternity testing and all of that, for the most part, man, 9 times out of 10, you know who you fucking and you know who you pregnant by. You know who you fucking and you know who you pregnant by. His mama knew damn well that was his daddy. She been knew that. I don't know what the dynamic was between her and him, or what went on in the past, or this and that, or why she felt the need to not disclose that or, say what it was, but she knew what the fuck it was. She knew that was his damn daddy. And then on top of this, they in a small Texas town. So back then it wasn't even big. So everybody know everybody. They know cousins, aunts, uncles, friends, all of that. So with her mom, with this toxic femininity, want to lie and take this to the grave. You don't know what she could have been doing or putting in the motion of something being messed up in the future. KIRK could have been dating and marrying somebody that was his sister or something like that, man. You never know, his biological father, how many kids he got, where they at, what they doing, and all that. And it just made me look and think at it like, damn, that's some toxic femininity ass shit. Toxic femininity. His mom's sister, they running buddies. So they running. They probably was running around in the past, hanging out, kicking the tight. They know who each other fucking probably. They probably was shit. They knew. His auntie knew. And she want to hold on to the lie too. She want to be just as toxic as him. I mean, as her sister, and hold on to the lie. All just to be right. Just so she could be right. Steady telling KIRK, nah, that ain't your daddy. I wouldn't lie to you. No, that test wrong. That test wrong. She said the DNA test wrong. I don't give a fuck, it's wrong. And I'm finna leave. If you want to keep talking about this, I'm finna leave. I'm like, damn, man. And what it did was it actually had me apply what happened to my life and my situation. And it showed me how things could, your life could take a turn, in a different direction from some of the actions or the things that your parents do. They not knowing how it's going to affect you or, what effect it will have on you. We got to understand too, our parents are young, so they were still learning and making mistakes and doing things and, doing bogus shit. So you got to understand that. But and now, I'm old. I'm real close to my mom, and I've forgiven her for a lot of things that we've talked about recently, and we've talked about things she did in her past and some mistakes that she made that caused my life as well as my brother and sister's life to go in different directions because of the outcome of what happened from what she was doing. And by understanding, but it had me applied to my life. Like my mom and dad were married, and we were young kids. I really don't remember our ages really that much, but we used to me, my brother, and my sister, we used to witness my mom cheating. Like not actually in the act of it, but the story is my older brother, he's 3 years older, he has a different father than me and my sister. And my mom married my dad, me and my sister's dad, and then we moved. We moved from Chicago. We moved up to Wisconsin. We stayed there for a couple of years. Well, not a couple of years, over a decade or so, while my old man was going to school and just doing his thing, whatever. And my mom, when we were younger, she used to always, this was before cell phones and all of that. So she would tell my dad she's going to Chicago to see my grandmother and her family. And we used to go see my grandma and my cousins and all of that. And, we was going there. But also in the midst of going there to see my mom's family, she would also still be going to see my brother's father and their family with us. We used to be over there spending nights. We called my brother's father's sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles and all of that. His mom and dad was our grandma. Well, really, in reality, they ain't no kin to me because my brother's dad is not my dad. But and I mean, this is formative years. This is what I'm witnessing this. I know this ain't my dad. I know she with my dad. She married to my dad. When we go home, we go home to my dad and all that. But she ain't. My mom is not hiding it from us that she's overseeing my brother's dad still and hanging out with him and partying with him and this and that. And we going back home now, we kids. My brother, me, my sister, we 9, 10, 11, 12, in that age range, whatever. Now we going back home to my dad and we can't tell my dad where we just came from in Chicago, who we were seeing. Yeah, we going back as kids. So now we got to be put in the lie. We got to we got to hold on to the lie. We got to live with the lie and tell my dad the lies of, we went to go see grandma and her cousin and all that. But we can't tell him the part about she was going over there to see my brother's father still. Not knowing how this will affect my dad, how it affect us. Me and my mom talked about it years later, but she never, she apologized for it and just, it is what it is. She was young and she was doing her thing. I think my old man was like a square to her, and my brother's father is one of those street niggas and street dudes and this and that. And that's just toxic femininity shit. My mom got my dad putting her in houses, giving her cars, gave her a better life than what we was having in Chicago. But she still wants the street nigga, the nigga that's a dope head, weed head, he play a little music or whatever. But she still want to go fuck with this nigga because it's what she want. It's what she like. You know what they say? We like what we like. So she like what she like. So that's just toxic femininity shit. She getting everything she need and want from my pops. I've never even seen my mom and dad argue. Just on some real shit. Maybe they did behind closed doors and we didn't see or couldn't see. But I don't even remember my mom and dad really having arguments like that. I remember my dad working out, going to school, dealing with race cars and trying to be good to my mom. When my mom was a different lifestyle to him. My mom liked to drink, she liked to party, she liked to go out and dance, do her thing. My dad really wasn't on that type of time. So that made the difference. I think that's why she was still kind of sneaking and going back and seeing my brother's father behind his back, because he led that lifestyle that she, liked or was living. And she was making choices to deal with him. And in the long run, shit, my mom, she even also started dealing with some old jailbird bum ass nigga in Wisconsin behind my dad's back. And that was one of the choices where now everything done came out. She got caught up dealing with the dude in Wisconsin that my mom was dealing with. And my dad started finding out that she was going back seeing my brother's father. That hurt my old man, so they wound up getting divorced. So when they get a divorce, we stayed in Wisconsin for a little while, but my mom really couldn't afford to live there. She really didn't have a family structure or support system. So we wound up moving back to Chicago. Now we moving back to Chicago, no father figure in the house, and my dad in Wisconsin. So now we in Chicago. Now what that do? I'm in the middle. I'm in them formative years. I'm like 15, 16, 17. I started getting into the streets. So I started messing with my uncles and my cousins in Chicago and all that. I get into the streets and start gang banging, dropping out of school, hustling and all that shit. All because we was in a different environment. I was trying to, what they call it, fit in or adjust to my environment. First law, what they call it, first law of life or whatever, it's self-preservation or whatever, first whatever. So I'm trying to, I'm getting in where I fit in. So if this is the neighborhood where I'm at and this is what they doing, this is what I'm doing. I could have made better decisions, but without having a father in that household to grab you and kick you in your ass and keep you straight, that would have stopped me from going into that lifestyle and doing that and doing certain things. And it's not 100% my mom's fault at all. I'm definitely not gonna put that on her, but it played a part in the role where I went in life because of her cheating and her toxic femininity and what she wanted to do and deal with these nutting ass niggas and cheat on my dad, and her and my dad wound up getting divorced. That caused them to separate. that caused my mom to have to move back to Chicago, and in turn, now I'm dealing in the streets and doing certain things and getting caught up in certain things that I probably wouldn't have if she wouldn't have cheated and her and my mom wouldn't have separated and got a divorce. It's like that thing they call the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is a thing that says if a butterfly in Venezuela flap its wings and the air from the wings or whatever kind of reverberates and it causes this to happen or this to happen. Just just little incident things, and it causes things to change and move in a different direction. If the butterfly wouldn't have been flapping its wings and here and did that, did this. It's a good movie on it. I think it's called The Butterfly Effect, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a good movie about it. But my mom's toxic femininity and what she was doing caused me, my brother, and my sister's life to go in different directions than what it would have if she wouldn't have been doing that. And it kind of correlates back to the Kirk Franklin story. I mean, maybe it worked out for him in the better, because when he was with the older family member raising him, because his mom couldn't, his mom was out being a thot, doing her thing. He was introduced and raised up in the church, and he would say that there was this piano in the house, and he was always on that little piano and stuff like that. So that probably cultivated him and helped him go in the direction of doing music and him becoming the megastar that he is. So everything has a cause and effect. All the decisions and actions that we do and make and things like that has a cause and effect. So that probably, made him go in that direction and caused him to do what he was doing, to get heavy into the music, become good in music and become a megastar. But I just wanted to touch on that. That Kirk Franklin documentary is called Father's Day. It was pretty good. And also, too, his father. His father was a piece of shit. His father was a coward. His father knew he got that woman pregnant. He knew what it was. They was in the same fucking neighborhood, same area. It's not a big, it's not like nowadays with social media, you got access and they were dealing with the same people in the same area for years and years and years. And his father knew. His father, his ass turned his back on Kurt, and he knew what it was. So he was a piece of shit too. Period. He was a simp. He was a sucker. He wanted to keep doing this thing, probably running around and doing this thing with the women or whatever. But so we can't let him off. We're not gonna let him off the hook. His father was a sucker. And but they did meet at the end in the documentary, and that's the picture on the documentary. That's the picture of him and his dad. When he met his dad, he went to his house. So the picture of the Kirk Franklin documentary is the picture of him and his dad. And it was just it was just when I was watching it, I just had some ideas in my head, and I was just thinking like, man, this is some toxic femininity, some thought culture shit. Just the actions of one person, how it can change the lives of so many people. And it was just sad to see his mom try to hold on to that lie just to save face. Hold on to that lie. No, this ain't your daddy. That DNA test wrong. They lying, and all because she wanted to be right and she wanted to hold on and save face with what happened and what didn't happen. And her sister playing right along with it. She going right along with it like, damn. So it was just one of the moments. It was an aha moment. And I was like, man, this kind of correlates to my life and, in certain similarities in certain ways. And I was just, I want to get on here and just, drop my little 2 cents in about it, speak on it. And, hit them like, share, subscribes. We need that. We need the subscribers, podcast gonna go on. It's gonna get better and better and better. We're gonna keep, keep being consistent with it, uploading and posting. But if you get a chance, check out that Kirk Franklin documentary. It's called Father's Day. And just take a look at the mom and how she was, dealing with her denial and, what she was going through and how it, transcended into Kirk's life. and how it affected him and how it affected him to this day. And even in the documentary, he was having issues with his son, and he went and apologized to his son, and he's trying to start building the relationship back up with his son. And now his son knows who his grandfather is for real. And, it's just a trickle down effect. It's just a trickle down effect. And it affects everybody. Lies, man, lies affect more people than you think it do. So it was a pretty good documentary. I'm glad I checked it out. I'm glad I watched it. But, get in the comments, leave your opinions and your thoughts on it. If you've seen the documentary, what you think about it, or what you think about what his mom did and what his aunt was doing, and is this toxic femininity thought culture we got going on, and what's up in our community, man. We're not letting the father off the hook either. The father, he should have stepped up and did what he needs to do, and but I don't know the whole situation. Maybe Kirk Franklin's mom didn't let him know, or he never knew about it or whatever. So there might be some issues and things up in there of that nature. But it was an interesting documentary, and it made you think, like, damn. We try to hold women up and say they can't do no wrong, and we need to protect them at all times. And just like in the record, I say I love my queens. Just trying to show them love all the time. But shit, they humans too. They make fucking mistakes. They do underhanded shit. They do they do some toxic shit, and they got their issues as well too. So, it was an interesting documentary. I want y'all to check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. And that's it. We out. So like, share, subscribe, hit all those buttons. Stay tuned in. Elevation Nation Conversations. We're gonna shorten the title down to ENC. We're going to abbreviate it for Elevation Nation Conversations. And, I'm your man, God Body Sean. You did. Let's talk about it. Keep it moving, keep it going, keep growing. All right. We out. One.